filmmaking. But some of the actors, they're just doing handsome acting. They're not really doing anything. That Orlando Bloom, he just stares around. Admittedly, he's pretty. I mean, you know, I would, but you'd have to. Orlando Bloom, I would, but I'd make out with him. But he's gorgeous. But they've got some very strange... Orlando Bloom says in that movie, "Red sun rising, blood has been spilled this night." What the hell is that meant to be? You know what else I got? Know the Orcs in them? I don't know if you've seen the movie, but the big monsters, the Orcs, they all talk like Cockneys. They talk like that. "Yeah, let's go over there in the Coast Travel. Let's go and eat everything." Cockneys aren't like that. They're cheerful chimney sweeps. They're not... They're like, "All right, Mary Poppins, diggly diggly dong." Also, I have to say the casting in the Lord of the Rings movie, it didn't really work for me. Because you got your little hobbits, right? You got your Frodo, Sam, Pippin, Donner, Blitzen, Corky, I don't know whatever. All your little hobbity guys. And then there's a Scottish hobbit. Which probably is okay for you, but it takes me right out of the film because... How come they all come from the same place and then one of them's got a Scottish accent? What the hell? That doesn't happen in Hobbity land. There's a Scottish hobbit. It's like when you go and see a nativity play and one of the kids has glasses. Ah, that makes me crazy. Just takes me right out of it. You know, it's like, "Oh, it's the time of the baby Jesus." Yes! Oh, you've ruined it! They didn't have glasses back then. Baby Jesus had cured everybody or something. I don't know. Anyway, the hobbity things, like the little hobbits and the Scottish hobbit, I don't get that. They go on the big long journey, which is why do you send the guys with the tiniest little legs on the longest journey? With tall guys, that movie would have been half as long. I think everyone would have been a bit happier. Think so. You know, there's a scene in the movie where they go through all these big scary mines, the mines of Mithra or something, a very dark, scary place, which was exactly like going to school for me in Scotland. It was exactly like that. It's true that people think I exaggerate about how violent it was when I was growing up. This is a true story. It's not particularly funny, but it's true. I warn you. You know, there was a doctor who was studying medieval war injuries, you know, battle injuries from the Middle Ages, and he used to go to Scottish ER rooms Friday and Saturday nights to study them. You know, because that's where you can see, they still see these big slashy, gashy things, you know, like people going to the pub. All of these things, it's horrifying. And he got some guy, this is a true story, he got some guy, this was printed in a medical journal later, he said to a guy who had a big slash on his back, he said, "What happened?" He said, "Somebody hit me with a sword." "My God, man, what kind of sword was it?" He said, "It's just an ordinary sword, you know." Anyway, the Lord of the Rings is what I'm talking about. So, I'm watching the trilogy, all the you know, it starts with the Fellowship, then the Two Towers, then the Return of the King. But I'm going to be halfway through Return of the King, I said, I don't care if he comes back, I'm done. And I don't care if he comes back. He can come back, he can go, I don't care, that's Scottish hobbit. Oh, I'm Scottish. No, I'm a real hobbit. No, you're not. But you'll know that because these movies are so successful, even although they were so long, there'll be a sequel. They'll want to do a sequel. Because, you know, the jerks that run these studios, you know, they were the people that gave us Scrappy-Doo. So, Scooby-Doo's nephew, Scrappy-Doo. No, listen, I'm not, you know, I've got dogs. You probably have been around dogs and you're like, dogs don't have extended families like that. They don't keep in touch with their nephews. A dog doesn't say, "Oh, you know, I better pee over there because my brother-in-law's coming over." That's just rubbish. It's always sequels for anything. They've got the Rocky 6 is being made. They're going to make Rocky 6 with Sylvester. It's going to happen. And Stallone is playing the boxer. What the hell is that? 80 years old fighting for the heavyweight. Anyway, I watched the Lord of the Rings thing, and it makes me kind of homesick, because I see all of these, you know, things about Scotland. And there's a trick that I use in LA whenever I feel homesick, because the weather's so nice here all the time. I don't get that same feeling. So I go out, and whenever I feel really homesick and I want to be back in Scotland, I go out in the backyard, I turn on the sprinklers and stab myself. And I'm right there. I'm right there.
Worldwide Pants.